Hello and welcome. Today, we will explain in simple terms how foreign expats can come to Nigeria for a short period of work. We will cover the two main types of permits and visas, what documents you need, how to apply, and what cost you should expect. We will now move over to the slides for more interaction on the subject. Okay, now the question before us is, what are temporary work permits and temporary visas? Okay, to answer the question, temporary work permits allow foreign expats to work in Nigeria for a limited time. On the other hand, temporary visas are the documents that let these expats enter Nigeria to work. These tools help companies to get special skills that are not always available locally. Then the next thing that we have to now look at are the two main types of temporary work permits. The very first on the list is the F8A single entry permit. And who is it for? It's basically for expats coming for a one-time short-term project like installing equipment or training staff. And how does it work? Once you enter Nigeria, you can complete your work and then leave. So once you enter, you cannot leave till you complete your work. Then the second type of temporary work permit is what is called R11. It's for 6-month permits and it has a multiple entry. And who is it for? It's also for expats who need to come in and out of Nigeria several times over a 6-month period. Although the visa is valid for 90 days, it supports a work permit that lasts 6 months for ongoing projects. So the difference is that the single entry, you come in and you complete your work before you leave. Then the multiple entry, you can go in and out of Nigeria several times within the 6-month period. Okay, now let's look at who can apply and what you need. For both permit types, you need to show one, a valid passport, which must have at least 6-month validity before it expires, and 2 blank pages. Then secondly, a letter from the Nigerian employer. This letter invites you to work in Nigeria and confirms that they will take all immigration responsibility with regards to you coming into Nigeria. Then secondly, you have to show that you have the proficiency, the skill in order to do exactly what you're coming to Nigeria to do. And the only way you can prove that is through your qualifications, certificates, and also your resume. Also, you as the expatriate, you have to show evidence that you can support yourself. That is the financial proof. And sometimes a return ticket and hotel booking is also very important. In some cases, you might need a pre-approved visa letter for that purpose. Okay, let's now look at how to apply step by step. The first step, the employer starts the process. That is, the Nigerian company will send you an invitation letter and all the necessary details. Then step 2, you apply for the visa. You either visit the Nigerian embassy in your country or you apply online using your documents, your passport, the invitation letter, the resume, and also proof of funds. Then the third thing that you have to do is the processing of the application. It's actually the Nigerian immigration that will do that. They will review your application. For the R11 type, the visa you get is for 90 days but allows a 6-month work period. Then upon your arrival in Nigeria, once you land, your permit is officially now stamped, letting you work legally during your stay in Nigeria. Also, you have to capture your details through the biometric capturing, and you have to also earmark the sum of $170 for that purpose. Then let's now look at how long you can stay. For the F8A single entry visa permit, you can only enter once and usually stay up to 90 days for a specific project. Then for the R11, that's the 6-month multiple entry, the visa is valid for 90 days also, but it supports a work permit that lets you work for 6 months. You can come and go during this period as you need. So that's the difference. One, you just have to stay in Nigeria until you complete the project, the specific project that has brought you to Nigeria. On the other hand, for the multiple entry, you can go and come until the project is completed. So both types are temporary work only. For temporary work only, they do not lead to permanent residence like you obtaining a SEPAC card. We'll now look at the cost and what to budget for. The visa and the permit fees, they vary based on your nationality and the type of visa that you need. And the biometric fee, just like I mentioned earlier, is $170 US. Then you also have to think about other possible expenses. You have to think of additional costs with regards to document translation or processing fees at the embassy. Let me just give you a little tip. Always check the Nigerian Immigration Service website before applying, as fees and guidelines can change due to the volatility of the dollar against the Nigerian naira. Okay, with regards to some best practice and helpful tips, the first is you must double check your document. You must make sure everything is complete and accurate before you apply, so that there won't be any delays in the process. Then secondly, you must apply early. Start your application process well ahead of your planned travel to avoid delays. Also, very importantly, you have to consult an expert. Consider speaking with an immigration consultant or a legal advisor who is knowledgeable with regards to Nigerian immigration rules. They can be very helpful so that you won't fall into some mistakes that can be avoided. You have to stay updated, regularly visit, just like I mentioned earlier, regularly visit the Nigerian Immigration Service website for any changes in the process or fees. Also, you have to keep your proof of payment, very important. Always print and carry your payment receipts and acknowledgement slip during your travel, so that if anything comes up, you can see the basis upon which you can make amends and rectify such a situation. Okay, let's now look at common hurdles and how to overcome them when you are making an application for temporary work permit and also the visa that comes along with it. One of the hurdles is delays in processing. So if you want to overcome this hurdle, you have to start your application early and follow up with the embassy if needed. Very importantly, it cannot be overemphasized. You have to start early. And to overcome the hurdle of incomplete documentation, you have to use a checklist to ensure all required documents are ready. So once you complete any particular documentation, you strike it off your checklist, so that once you complete the striking off, you must have now completed all your documentation, so that you can avoid the issue of incomplete documentation. Then thirdly, the unexpected fee changes. You have to verify the current fees on the official website before you apply. Just like I mentioned earlier, there is a volatility between the dollar and the naira, so you have to make sure that you know the exact amount that is being paid at that particular time, so that there won't be any issues of unexpected fee changes. Then, with regards to the biometric issues, you have to make sure you keep a copy of your payment receipt, so that you can be ready at the biometric center. Okay, a recap and a final thought on what we have been discussing all this while. Basically, there are two main types of permit: the F8A for one-time entry and the R11 for multiple entries over 6 months. The application step starts with your employer's invitation, and also you making sure that all your documents are well prepared, and then you now proceeding to getting your visa at the Nigerian embassy or applying online, and also the processing at the embassy, and then your arrival in Nigeria, and then also the biometric capture. All these are all the steps that are required in order for you to come into Nigeria through a temporary work permit and carry out the job with which you are expected to do. Then the key tips which I have mentioned earlier also is that you have to start early. You cannot overemphasize on this. Very important, so that you cannot be caught in last minute rush. And also you have to make sure you check all your documents very carefully, so that there won't be any mix-up in your documentation, which will occasion a delay. And very importantly, you have to keep up with the latest updates on fees. How can you do that? You have to visit the website of the Nigerian Immigration Service and also the Nigerian Embassy, so that you can know exactly the amount and fees that you are expected to pay, and also the requirement, so that you cannot go there with all the wrong documents. By following these simple steps, companies can now successfully bring in the foreign experts needed to support Nigeria's growing industries. Thank you for your time. I hope this presentation has made the process of obtaining a temporary work permit and temporary visa easy to understand. I am happy to answer any question you might have. For more personalized consultation, further guidance and additional resource on temporary work permit and temporary visa application, please reach out through our official channel. Visit our website to access detailed guides, case studies, and expert insight designed to keep you informed of the latest regulatory updates and best practices. Partner with us to leverage our deep industry knowledge and take the next step towards securing your temporary work permit and temporary visas in Nigeria.